Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami. I bow down to the sacred lotus feet of my beloved Satguru, the living incarnation of Paramashiva, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. Nithyanandam. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you gathered from all around the world, waiting in congregation for the live darshan and the Nithyananda Satsang, the everyday morning discourse by our beloved Bhagavan, Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. As we are in congregation today, let us recall and remind ourselves of the ongoing initiations. As we all know, Sanatana Hindu Dharma is all about receiving powerful cognitions and spiritual initiations from the great enlightened beings, the incarnations, the rishis, the munis. And the initiation enters into our body, mind and spirit and works at multiple levels and makes us take the leap into superconsciousness and radiate the state space powers being and the superconsciousness of Paramashiva. That is the agenda of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and that is the way the whole system is wired through the guru-disciple tradition, where the gurus are the great incarnations and the disciples are the individual consciousness that absorbs the initiation and the powerful cognition and realizes the superconsciousness in itself. Yes, the ongoing initiation is the initiation into visualizing and cognizing Paramashiva in us, in all his 25 faces, 50 hands and 75 eyes, which is including the third eye, in whom the entire happening of the cosmos is happening, all the big bangs, the black holes, the universes, the multiverses, all the creation, the sustenance, the rejuvenation, the pulling out of delusion and delivering enlightenment. All of it is happening at the same time without any time gap. Although the universes and multiverses exist for zillions of yugas or zillions of years, yet it is happening at the same time without a time gap. That is the power of the initiation. Like how when we go into a dream, when we sleep, we don't question how we live a lifetime of 2 to 3 years or even 10 years in our dream and come back. Whereas we would have slept only for about an hour or so, or maybe 5 hours. Same way, when we meditate on this profound truth, the click will happen in us. How, although it takes zillions of years or yugas for the raising and dissolving of these multiverses and universes, yet it happens without a time gap. When we continue to meditate on this profound truth with the initiation, the power of the initiation, the breakthrough will happen, and when we cognize what happens inside Paramashiva, which is what is happening inside us too, then the amazing synchronicity, the amazing order, alignment between the two becomes our prayer, and when that alignment happens, we are done. And that is where our Swamiji, our beloved Bhagavan, is taking us through this everyday intense physical presence, through the Nithyananda Satsang and the intense spiritual initiations that we are receiving. And we need to recall and remind ourselves that this is the 4th day of the Skanda Shashti. The energy of Lord Muruga, Lord Subramanya, is on the planet. Skanda Shashti is the day Subramanya happened on the planet Earth. He's the second son of Paramashiva, and he happened through the 6 third eyes of Paramashiva, the 6 faces of creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and giving enlightenment. He happened out of that through a profound spiritual alchemy process, and the purpose of his advent on the earth was to destroy the demonic forces personified by Sura Padma and his demonic brothers Tarakasura and Simhamukha. These demonic forces represent the negativity within us. So Skanda Shashti is a 6-day festival in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Today is the 4th day that is going on, and we have been seeing how Lord Muruga happened and how he vanquished the demonic forces, delivering such great relief to the divine beings who were being disturbed by these demonic forces. And we've also been seeing how in the Avatara Leela, which is the divine life story of the incarnation on the planet, our beloved Bhagavan, how the energy of Lord Subramanya is crisscrossing at various times, right from his childhood. Of course, we have been seeing every day through so many eyewitnesses sharings that the Avataric mission started not in the year 2000 when it became official worldwide movement, but it started literally in 1978 when the Avatar was born. There is no other way, because when an Avatar steps foot on the planet, when he lands on the planet, his only task is the Avataric mission. There is nothing else that he knows. There is no other material he's made up of. And that is becoming more and more evident for us, and it has become now our own statement and our own truth. And we've been seeing how on the first day of Skanda Shashti, when beloved Bhagavan received the initiation from his Guru Mata Vibhutananda Puri into the Skanda Shashti Vrita, the 6-day fasting dedicated to Lord Subramanya, before initiating him into the science of spiritual alchemy, he had the darshan on the 6th day, the culmination of this festival. He had the direct darshan of Subramanya himself, and the spiritual science, alchemy science, was downloaded into him as a gift from Subramanya. So it will be delivered to the entire humanity. And here we are at the receiving end of it. We all know the science of spiritual alchemy has been unleashed by a beloved Bhagavan a few years ago, and we've been enjoying the spiritual alchemy products and all the spiritual powers that are manifesting through it in our lives, fulfilling each of our wish lists, all of our prayers, and manifesting all that we wanted in our life as reality. The science of spiritual alchemy is one of the mainstream science of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, in which the Siddhars, the great mystical beings of the Sanatana Hindu Dharma tradition, are adepts at. So the presiding Lord for the 18 Siddhars who are adepts at the spiritual alchemy science is Lord Subramanya. So, and we also saw how not only the Skanda Shashti Vrata, on so many occasions, our beloved Bhagavan has dabbled with the energy of Lord Muruga in Tiruvannamalai and in surrounding villages. He would go to Govanur, which is his father's sister's place. They would all go there for vacation, and there he would start his worship as play once again. There was a Muruga temple in Govanur, and he would go and do the alankar, the decoration for that deity in the Muruga temple. And not only that, he would sit and start narrating the great stories of Mahabharata and Ramayana in Govanur, and there he would have the people immediately gathering around him, the children and the adults, and there would be a satsang soon in progress. He went to so many neighboring villages and did decoration for all the deities in all those village temples. He was not the one to play the mundane games. Even into the enriching started. He would enrich the people. He would involve them in the deity worship, in assisting him, in helping him, decorating the deity. And then each being, each soul will turn towards the deity. And when each being turned towards the deity, the connection with the divine is established, and they get into the track of their own journey of enlightenment. It is the task of the Avatar to work literally person by person, aligning them to their own track of enlightenment. And it is a colossal job which has to start on day one. There is no other way to it. So literally from day one, the first Padayatra that Swamiji undertook was in the name of Lord Subramanya, where he took the bamboo offering, the traditional bamboo offering on his shoulders, and walked from Tiruvannamalai to Vadalur and offered it to the Lord Subramanya in Vadalur. And when he goes as a small boy, place to place, meeting person to person, everyone is so curious to find out how come such a small child knows so much information, so much knowledge, and they pick up a conversation with him. And there starts the initiation for that being. Understand, in yesterday's satsang, so beautifully we heard from Swamiji, the task of a guru in our life, where the guru is neither supposed to give you all the answers, where you don't go into yourself and kindle your own intelligence, or nor he's supposed to leave you without any answers. He's supposed to just give you enough answers to kindle your curiosity so that you work from within you, because ultimately it has to be the flowering from within. No one can break the seed and make the tree grow. They can pour the water, they can put the fertilizer, they can put so many things, they can create the ambience. Finally the seed has to flower and become the tree from within itself. That is exactly the job of a guru, the incarnation. So understand, that job started right when he was a child, where so beautifully yesterday he explained, I just have to arouse your curiosity about the whole cosmic happening, and only when you become curious and you start the kindling process within you, the enlightenment will start flowering. And how interesting it is to see that he did this from when he was a child. That is an avatar. So when he went on his first Padayatra, carrying the offering to Lord Muruga, what was he doing? He was arousing the curiosity of so many people in that village. How come a small boy knows so much? Sanatana Hindu Dharma started, and soul, that so exciting and so intriguing and overwhelming to track the so one, and that is the greatest exciting finding for us in the autobiography team, that it is so obvious to even a layman that the avataric mission started from day one and not from when the official announcement or the worldwide movement was established. So how else did Lord Muruga crisscross the life of Bhagwan? Understand, not only did Swamiji observe the Skanda Shashti Vrita, he went to Governor and surrounding villages and did Alankar for Lord Muruga. He also went to the great Muruga shrines in South India, the famous Arupade Veedu, which is the 6 chief shrines belonging to Lord Muruga, which is Palani, Tiruchendur, Tirutani, Tiruparangundram, Swami Malai and Palamudircholai. 6 chief shrines to Lord Muruga. He used to visit with his paternal grandmother Anusuya Patti, and sometimes with his own cousin brothers, uncles and own brothers. And everywhere he went, he was an experience to the people there and to his own people traveling with him. They would never know what is going to come out of him during every one of those trips. One of the most memorable sharing we've had, which each of these sharings, when people share with us, it is they have logged it within themselves and cherishing it till this moment, and so private to them, and is sustaining their very existence on the planet in the path of their enlightenment. You will understand what I'm saying when I share when I share this. She told us something that was so astounding. There was a huge gathering, a huge crowd, because they were there on a festival day. And normally during these festival days, in all the villages. It is a huge congregation that happens in temples during festivals. The children are expected to tightly hold the hands of the elders so that they will not get lost in that festival. So that is the training given to the kids. Hold tight and keep moving within the crowd, and you get to see all that is available, that is set up in that enlightenment ecosystem that is happening there when the festival is going on. And when Anasuya Ammal took Swamiji to Tiruchendur, all of a sudden she found him missing. She found him missing, and that was, she became very anxious and concerned for a few minutes, because she had taken the responsibility of taking Swamiji to a pilgrimage, on a pilgrimage trip, and bringing him back safely. So when she could not find him, it was a huge concern for her. So many thought currents going in her head. First of all, where is the child? Is he safe? How am I going to find him in this huge crowd? And what is he up to? Who is he with? In just a few minutes, he appeared before her. And how did he appear? He was completely shaven. He had a clean shave. He had offered his entire locks of hair to Lord Muruga, which is a tradition in Sanatana Hindu Dharma, where you shave your head and give it as an offering with some strong prayer within you to your chosen deity. So he had gone and offered his entire matted locks to Lord Muruga, and he appeared before her all fresh with a band of holy ash on his forehead. And she was stunned at what she saw, and she asked him, "Why did you shave your head?" And he said, "If I had asked you, you may have said no. So, but I wanted to shave it. So I went and did it on my own and came." So this is one of the most delightful sharings of Anasuya Party. And then she went on to share with us the next scenes that happened. So there she was with him, and they were watching the Abhisheka, the sacred bath being offered to Lord Subramanya in Tiruchendur. As she was watching the Abhisheka, the water flowing on the Muruga deity, suddenly she saw her own grandchild, our beloved Bhagavan, standing instead of the deity and receiving the Abhishekam water, milk flowing over him. She could not believe it. Just as she had seen him a few moments back, with the shaven head and a band of holy ash on his forehead, the same form she saw instead of the deity of Lord Muruga receiving the sacred bath. She immediately tapped the lady in front of her and asked her, "Are you seeing the small child standing there instead of the deity?" And that lady saw and said, "Yes, I am seeing too." When Anasuya Party shared this with us, it was too profound for us, because it was one of the early years where we were not so used to hearing such profound out of the box, out of the book experiences coming live in front of our eyes. Of course, in later years, when we started interviewing the other eyewitnesses, the eyewitness to the happening of Arunagiri Yogeshwara, the life of Bhagavan, the temple watchman, when we started hearing those sharings, of course, every time it is the same experience. The hair stands on end, and it is we are transported to a different zone altogether. But that was literally one of the first times we were hearing that. And we could see that Anasuya Party has held that memory in her till date. I'm sure till she left her body. And that has sustained her and pulled her through so many phases of her life after that. And when she saw Bhagavan's form, she moved her eyes between the deity and him. And there he was, unassumingly standing next to her and also looking at the sacred bath that was being offered to Lord Muruga. And she could not believe what she was seeing. He was in next to her, and he was there receiving the Abhishekam. In the Avatara Leela, there are so many profound incidents where Bhagavan has given darshan to people. I can't help but recall here how he gave the darshan of Lord Ayyappa, the deity, the Harihara Putra, the son of Sri Vishnu and Paramashiva, how he gave the math master in his school the darshan of Lord Ayyappa, standing in the doorway of his classroom in VDS Jain School. He appeared as Lord Ayyappa to his math master. So the energy of Lord Muruga is really profound and distributed in the Avatara Leela during the childhood of Swamiji. So Swamiji used to visit all the 6 major shrines dedicated to Lord Muruga with his grandmother Anasuya Ammal and with his, the entire Tiruvannamalai actually lived as a joint family. So people would go on these pilgrimage trips with so many different families together. So it was not just his grandmother. There was an entire group of people, a gang of people who would gather for these pilgrimages. And there was a bus driver and the entire set of people were there in it all the time. So the bus driver was so familiar with Bhagwan and we're actually trying to track him. We're hoping that he's still available somewhere because he has many stories to share. When he used to take Bhagwan on these pilgrimages, Bhagwan used to sit next to him in where he was driving and he would endlessly tell him stories and talk spirituality at that young age. And it used to be such an entertainment for him and to help him keep alive and awake while driving the bus long hours when the rest of them would be sleeping inside the bus. Never Bhagwan used to knock off when he gets into a vehicle like so many of us usually do today. He was alive, alert, extremely active and enriching every moment. Anyone who came into his breathing space, the only thing he knew to do was enriching that being. And that is being heard by us today through hundreds of eyewitnesses, the bus driver of these pilgrimage trips, the co-passengers in the trip. We would ask them, what would he do in the bus? Would he be sitting and sleeping? Or would he be just by himself looking out of the window? What would he be doing? And they would say, oh no, he would engage the entire lot of us with stories of spirituality. And I'll never forget what Anasuya Pati shared once with us, that she said when we went to Tiruchendur, she says in so many places, I don't even need to book a hotel or anything with Bhagwan because he was so happy with the activities in that area. Like there would be dance dramas of the Hindu histories, the stories of Bhakta Prahalad, the story of so many young saints of the Sanatana Hindu Dharma being enacted. That was all part of the festivals, the Hindu festivals. So he would be so happy watching those that I would never have the need to book even a hotel room. We would go to Tiruchendur and they would be enacting the story of Bhakta Prahalad and he would go right there and sit and watch through the night. And I would be sleeping next to him on the ground. That was how our life was, the life of Padayatra. Padayatra means the journey by foot to all the pilgrimage centers. Yesterday we heard from Bhagwan during the live Nithyananda Satsang. He has blessed and initiated 2 of his sannyasis into initiating a huge Padayatra from Kanyakumari, the tip of South India, to Kashmir, to Kailasa, that is Mount Kailash. And he has blessed them to lead a Padayatra and he has invited any male member, because there are 2 male sannyasis, he's invited any male member who wants to be part of the Padayatra to register for it and join the 2 sannyasis. So yesterday we saw the lovely initiation for Padayatra, which is going to start on the Jayanti of our beloved Bhagavan. Jayanti is the anniversary of the happening of the incarnation on the planet. The most profound happening at any point in time is the happening of an incarnation for the entire humanity, for the entire cosmos. It is the greatest happening in the history of the cosmos because only when an incarnation happens, the purpose of birth of every single creature in the cosmos, whether it is a stone, twig, leaf, tree, plant, animal or human being, whatever or whoever it may be, the life purpose of that being gets fulfilled because the jump happens to the next level of consciousness. So the happening of an avatar is the greatest happening in the cosmos. So on that particular day, the 2 sannyasis are going to spearhead and lead the Padayatra, and registrations are on so excitedly all over the world. And the first Padayatra, we should remember, happened when he was a small child from Tiruvannamalai to Vadalur in the name of Lord Subramanya, which is so relevant to us when the energy of Lord Subramanya is happening on the planet. Let us now watch a sharing from the pre-monastic elder brother of our beloved Bhagwan on how during the Skanda Shashti Vrata, with what austerity he used to observe the fast of Skanda Shashti Vrata. Let us now watch Sri Sendil Kumar sharing on the Skanda Shashti Vrata of Swamiji.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivam சுத்துவாங்க. இல்லையா அந்த கடைசி நாள் 108 தடவை ஒன்னா சுத்துவாங்க. இதுல என்னன்னா எனக்கு நல்லா ஞாபகம் இருக்கு, ஒரு தடவை டெய்லி 18 தடவையும் சுத்துவாரு. அந்த 6வது நாள் 108 தடவையும் சுத்துவாரு. அந்த கம்பத்தினார் கோயில அந்த 108 தடவை நீங்க கண்டினியூஸா சுத்தி வரணும்னா கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 3 to 4 மணி நேரம் ஆகும். அந்த 3 to 4 மணி நேரம் ஆகிறதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, உங்களுக்கு கவுண்டிங் மிஸ் ஆகிடக்கூடாதுக்காக அம்மா என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, அரளிப்பூவோ இல்லைன்னா ஏதாவது ஒரு இலையோ கொடுப்பாங்க. அந்த இலையை என்ன பண்ணுவோம், ஒரு பையில போட்டு ஒரு தடவை சுற்றி வரும்போது ஒரு இலையை நம்ம அந்த கம்பத்தினாருக்கு அந்த கோபுரத்துக்கு முன்னாடி நாங்கள் அர்ச்சனை பண்ணுவோம். பண்ணிவிட்டு 108 வாட்டியும் நாங்கள் கண்டினியூஸாக சுற்றி வருவார். சுற்றி வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் கடைசி இலை முடிஞ்சதுக்கப்புறம் கும்பிட்டு மறுபடியும் கோவில் உள்ள மூலவரெலாம் பார்த்துட்டு அப்புறம் ரிட்டர்ன் வீட்டுக்கு அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் சாப்பிடவே செய்வார். ஸோ 6வது நாள் முடிக்கும்போது அந்த 108 தடவையும் கம்ப்ளீட் பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்கு முன்னாடி எத்தனை தடவை அவர் சுற்றிருந்தாலும் அதில் கணக்கில் எடுத்துக்கணும். மறுபடியும் 6வது நாள் 108 தடவை அந்த கம்பத்தினார் கோயில் சுற்றி வருவார். அந்த கம்பத்தினார் கோயில் என்ன ஒரு மகிமைன்னா, அந்த கோயிலை எவ்வளோக்கு எவ்வளோ நீங்கள் நல்லா சுற்றி வரணும், உடம்புல நோய்கள் வராது. அது அந்த கம்பத்தினாருக்கு சனிதிக்கு ஒரு ஸ்பெஷல் பவர். அந்த 108 தடவை சுற்றிட்டு அந்த கந்த சஷ்டி கவசம் நாங்கள் வீட்டுக்கு அதே மாதிரி கந்த சஷ்டி கவசமும் கந்தர் அனுபூதியும் பாடி அதை முடிப்பாங்க. ஸோ 6 நாள் இது ரொட்டீனாக நடக்கும். அதுக்கப்புறம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எங்கள் வீட்டு பக்கத்துலேயே எங்கள் கம்யூனிட்டிக்கும் சைவ வேளாண் கம்யூனிட்டிக்கும் சொல்லி குமர் கோவில்னு சொல்லி ஒரு கோவில் ஒன்று இருக்குது. அந்த குமர் கோவில் தான் காலையில் 4 மணிக்கு பெரிய கோவில் யானை குமர் கோயிலிருந்து தீர்த்தம் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு பெரிய கோயிலுக்கு போயிட்டு பள்ளி எழுச்சிக்கு தீர்த்தம் கொடுப்பாங்க. ஸோ அந்த யானைக்கு இங்கே வரும்போது என்ன பண்ணுவோம், நாங்கள் குமர் கோயிலுக்கு வந்துடுவோம். நாங்கள் குமர் கோயில் வந்துட்டுன்னு அந்த அர்ச்சகர் என்ன பண்ணுவார், கரெக்டாக கதவெல்லாம் திறந்து வைப்பார். யானை பெரிய கோயில் யானை வரதுக்காக கதவை திறந்து வச்சு நாங்கள் உள்ளே போயிட்டு நாங்களும் அந்த கோயிலுக்குள்ளே ஒரு கிணறு ஒன்று இருக்கும். அந்த கிணத்துல தண்ணி செஞ்சு கொடுப்பாரு. தண்ணி செஞ்சு கொடுத்தோன்னா அந்த தண்ணியை யானை எடுத்துகிட்டு போகும். ஸோ காலையில் வீட்டுக்கு பக்கத்தில் ஒரு குமர் கோயில் இருக்கும், கோமர் கோயில் போவோம். அது முடிஞ்சதுக்கப்புறம் பள்ளி எழுச்சிக்கு கோவிலுக்கு போவோம். கோவிலுக்கு பள்ளி எழுச்சி முடிச்சுட்டு அப்படியே கம்பத்தினார் கோயிலையும் சுற்றிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் நாங்கள் வீட்டுக்கு வருவோம். வீட்டுக்கு வந்துட்டு பாலும் பழமும் சாப்பிட்டு அது அப்படியே ஸ்கூலுக்கு கிளம்பி போயிடுவார். திரும்பி மறுபடியும் கம்பத்தினார் கோயில்லையோ இல்லை குமர கோவில்லையோ தான் எங்களுடைய அந்த நெக்ஸ்ட்டு ஒரு சர்டன் 3-4 ஹவர்ஸுக்கு நாங்கள் விளையாட்டுமே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அங்கே தான் விளையாடுவாங்க. இதில் என்னென்னா அந்த தெருவில் இருக்கிற எல்லா பசங்களும் வீட்டில் இல்லைன்னா அவங்க டைரெக்டாக எங்கே போனால் கோவிலில் போய் தேடுவாங்க. கோவிலில் பசங்க இருப்பான்னு சொல்லி நேராக கோவிலில் கூட்டிகிட்டு போவாங்க. அந்த ட்ரெடிஷ்னல் லைஃபே எப்படி எங்களுக்கு அமைச்சு கொடுத்தாருன்னா, அந்த சுற்றி இருக்கிற கம்யூனிட்டி பீப்புள் கோவிலையும் கோவில் சார்ந்த ஒரு தொழிலையும் அதே மாதிரி கோவிலை சார்ந்த ஒரு வாழ்க்கையும் வாழ்ந்து அதை அவங்க மட்டும் வாழ்ந்தது இல்லாமல் அதை அடுத்த சந்ததிக்கு கொடுத்து அவங்க அது கொடுத்ததை மானிட்டர் பண்ணாங்க. நாம் அவங்க செய்கிறாங்கன்னு சொல்லி மானிட்டர் பண்ணாங்க. அவங்க செஞ்சதில் நாங்கள் என்ன பேசுகிறோம் அதை திருத்தி எங்களுக்கு மறுபடியும் சொல்லி கொடுத்தாங்க. அதை அடுத்த சந்ததிக்கு போகிற வரைக்கும் அந்த 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 என்ன சொல்கிறதுன்னா ஒரு சின்ன எல்லளவு கூட அந்த பிழை வராமல் இருக்குது. ஒன்று கற்றுக் கொடுப்பாங்க, கிட்டேருந்து கற்றுக் கொடுப்பாங்க. உடலை எப்படி அடிக்கிறது, கோவில் மணி எப்படி அடிக்கிறது, இதெல்லாம் எங்களுக்கு கற்றுக் கொடுப்பாரு அந்த கோவிலில் இருக்கிற அந்த எங்களுடைய முன்னோர்கள். அப்போ என்னென்னா சாமிஜி என்ன பண்ணுவான்னா, அந்த அபிஷேகம் பண்ணுற அந்த குருக்களுக்கு அவங்க அடுத்த அபிஷேகத்துக்கு தேவையான பொருட்களை எடுத்து கொடுப்பாரு. நாங்கள் சின்ன பசங்கள்லாம் ஒருத்தருக்கும் ஒரு வேலை கொடுப்பாங்க. அபிஷேக பொருட்களை அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணி வைக்கிறது, அப்புறம் அபிஷேக பொருட்களை எடுத்து கொடுக்கறது, அதுக்கப்புறம் கோவிலில் மணி அடிக்கிறது, உடல் அடிக்கிறது, அப்புறம் கோவிலில் பெருக்கிறது, கழுவுறது, இந்த மாதிரி வந்து கோவில் சார்ந்த ஒரு வாழ்க்கை நடைமுறையை எங்களுக்கு வந்து உள்ளவே வந்து எங்களுக்கு வந்து பழக்கப்படுத்துகிறாங்க எங்கள் ராஜமௌழி தாத்தாவும் எங்கள் கம்யூனிட்டியில் இருக்கிற அந்த முக்கியமான பெரியவர்களும். அப்புறம் அந்த 6 நாள் இந்த கணபதி அந்த கந்தசஷ்டி விரதம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வீட்டில் இருக்கிற எல்லா லேடிஸும் வந்து இருப்பாங்க. எங்கள் சித்தி, அம்மா, பாட்டி, 2 பாட்டிங்க இருப்பாங்க. எல்லாரும் வந்து அந்த கந்தசஷ்டி விரதம் இருப்பாங்க. கூடவே வந்து பகவானும் வந்து இருப்பார். இதில் என்ன ஒரு விஷயம்னா, அந்த 6 நாள் முடிஞ்சதுக்கப்புறம் மறுபடியும் வந்து எப்போ இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு எனர்ஜியான ஒரு டியூரேஷன் எப்போ வரும்னு நம்ம வந்து பார்த்துக்கிட்டே இருப்பாங்க. ஐப்பசி முடிஞ்சு மார்கழி வரும்போது மறுபடியும் அந்த 30 நாளும் இதை வந்து இந்த ரொட்டீன் வந்து வேற ஒரு விஷயத்துக்காக அந்த 30 நாள் இதே ஒரு விஷயம் வந்து தொடரும். லைஃப்பில் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த 365 நாளில் 360 நாள் ஏதாவது திருவண்ணாமலை ஏதாவது ஒரு கோவிலில் வந்து நம்ம பெரிய கோவில் வந்து ஏதாவது ஒரு விசேஷம் இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும். அப்போ கோவிலை சார்ந்த ஒரு வாழ்க்கையே வந்து இருந்ததுனால எங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன், நிறைய ஃபங்க்ஷனுக்கு எங்களுக்கு வந்து நேமே தெரியாமல் அதை அவ்வளோ செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. சூரசம்ஹாரம் வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கடைசி நாள் 6வது நாள் வந்து கோவிலில் பெரிய கோவிலில் வந்து செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணுவாங்க. அப்போ பெரிய கோவிலில் செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணும்போது எங்களை வந்து தனியாக விட மாட்டாங்க. ஏன்னா க்ரௌடு வந்து ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தின்றதுனால எங்களும் தனியாக விட மாட்டாங்க. எங்கள் தாத்தா வந்து கூட்டிகிட்டு போவார். தாத்தா வந்து ஒரு விஐபி கேட்டதுனால ஃபுல்லாக எங்களுக்கு கொண்டு போய் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, பெரிய பெரிய மாடம்லாம் இருக்கும் கோவிலில் வந்து. அதனால் அந்த மாடத்தை ஏற்றி விட்டுருவாங்க. நாங்கள் அங்கேருந்து அந்த சூரசம்ஹாரம் பார்க்கணும்னு சொல்லி. அதுக்கப்புறம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம குமர் கோவில்லையும் வந்து சூரசம்ஹாரம் பண்ணுவாங்க. அது வந்து எங்கள் கம்யூனிட்டி டெம்பிள்ன்றதுனால அது வந்து அது கிட்டேருந்து நாங்களே எல்லாமே அலங்காரம் கூட கிட்டேருந்து அப்படியே வந்து பண்ணுவார். அந்த துணி சுற்றி கொடுக்கறது, அப்புறம் அபிஷேக சாமான் எடுத்து கொடுக்கறது, இதெல்லாம் வந்து பண்ணி அவரும் வந்து என்ஜாய் பண்ணுவார்.
It is now time to prepare ourselves for the live darshan and the Nithyananda Satsang from our beloved Bhagavan. Please sit straight, close your eyes, sit with your head, neck and spine in a straight line and intensely start chanting the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.